Here's everybody. Welcome back to the Smart Poker YouTube channel. Another episode of Humpdazed, number 124. All Hallows Eve Spooktacular show. This is Smart Poker. I'm by myself at the moment, and my wife is actually at the local Halloween parade by herself, so she'll be back directly. I'll put the link up if anyone wants to join me. That was pretty cool. I was able to get that to play. I hope you've heard that. Let's see. Invite. It's weird when you don't have your co-pilot, you know, you're used to doing stuff. But yeah, I got the plants up there. Excited about the smells coming out of the tent. There's the link if anyone wants to join. I know our buddy Artman said he wouldn't be here tonight. He has a prior engagement. He's probably going to some really ripping Halloween party somewhere, kegger out in the woods, you know. But yeah, he wouldn't be here tonight. So cheers, Artman. I'll try to pin that link. Remember, I'm by myself, so it's tough to get everything going here. And once I do, I can roll up when we get stoned. Got any questions or not questions, topics we can talk about and stuff, that'd be great. It's been a tough day, man. I went to work today, worked a half a day, and I felt like shit, like I was maybe getting the flu and everything. I started feeling sore, so I dipped out, come home and took some NyQuil and passed out. Now I feel all looped up. I feel like, I don't know, half drunk. And I smoked a little bit of weed and finally got a little food in me, but I'm a little under the weather and by myself and everything else. So you guys have to give me some. What's up, Jace? How you doing, man?
Said Artman's out on the party.
Yeah, no, he messaged me and said that he wasn't going to make it, that he had some prior engagement, and that was it. But I was thinking, that's what I was making up. I said he's probably going to some ripping party, you know.
Oh yeah, I hope he didn't take the Artman nude cam with him.
Oh yeah, I don't know what kind of party that would be, but you know, hey, your plants look great, man. They really sprung out there since you've talked them. That's wonderful.
Yeah, man, it's been. I know I wasn't here last time. I don't know if I was here the time before, but yeah, that popped up. Except for that one in the middle here in the front. That was the last one I topped. I can't remember when I topped that exactly, but it was the last one I topped out of the bunch. And yeah, I'm about ready to flip. If it weren't for that one there in the middle, I would have flipped already. But yeah, I'm right there to flip.
Yeah, you're gonna be nice and full, man. They're gonna bolt. Get some nice training. Boy, they're strong looking too. It's amazing what a week or two can do when you're at that stage, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, man. They really take off. You know, especially if you leave them alone. You know, you can tell like when they were really just exploding. You know, when you get them out of them solo cups, and once they kind of get settled in that new environment, they just blow up, and then you top them, and then they just shut down for a minute. Yeah, they bounce back up. They're about to go through the roof here. I don't know what I'm gonna flip. I want to give it a little bit more. I got that one in the middle, and then I got that one I showed you on Instagram where I screwed up my topping on it. I don't know what I did on that one. Let me see if I can get that on here.
I would ask you, when you was topping it, did you spin the bucket, top it? You know, was you cutting those and spinning? Because sometimes you can get confused on what side of the plant you're on and shit. But it was pretty small, so that's a tough one.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, here it is. So here's the one on the right. It's got you can see it comes up to this node here, and then it keeps going up. That one doesn't.
He lost that side. Yep.
There we go. Yeah, I don't know what I did. I topped it right there, so it should have kept going up. So this side's going to have two. This will have a one main coming up. So I'll have five mains coming up on this one now. So what I did was I tied down these other ones to get it level with it, so that they'll give this some chance to grow up even with the rest of them.
Indeed, I like that, and it's my firm belief that when something like that happens, especially early on, the plant will still produce what it would have produced before. It'll just, you might have some bigger buds on one side, with, you know, that can always. It's weird.
Yeah, and I don't know how this 2x4 is going to play out. This is my first time growing in it, you know, so this is all new to me. So that might work out better. I mean, I might get a little dead spot where I can move that over into and get it to fill up. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But something like that, if that's like the worst problem I got in this grow, I'll be happy. It sucks when shit like that happens, but hey, it happens. Yeah, like you said, I don't know what I did. I was topping it, and I didn't notice it until probably a day or two later. I think I was a couple days later. I think I went to tie it down, and I went to grab it, and I was like, "Where's the books? Where's this plant at?" And that's what happened was it was just so small. I think when I was cutting that top, I might have got a little long with the scissors and got it on the back end, and I couldn't see it. But that is what it is, Just we'll keep going.
You know what I always do, Jace? I always, in every grow I see, I try to accentuate the positive, except my own. I'm always really harsh with myself and shit, and I don't know why. It's like I should be just doing the same thing for me. But I'll say this: out of all your plants, that one in the back left is my favorite. That son of a bitch is banging. It looks like the most.
It's the purple panty dropper.
It looks ready to rip, man. I don't know what it is about that plant. I think it's going to be strong and healthy, man. It has that look.
Yeah, you know what? This left node on this left side here, it was growing faster and taller than this right one. I think it was getting blocked by a little bit of light there. So I pulled it out from that fan a little bit. I had that fan it was kind of over the top of it, blocking a little light. So I just slid it over in. So I think that'll help out. So hopefully that'll grow back up even. So everything looks so good so far. These two in the back, they're kind of bunched up. I just tied them down, kind of mangled. But those got some really tight node spacing. That and this two in the front here, this blueberry muffin right here, and then this hella jelly. They got real tight node spacing. No, not the hella jelly, the blueberry muffin, the hella jelly, and then this pineapple upside down cake. They're the ones that are trying to stretch a little bit on me, but they're not too bad. The node spacing on it. So I'll wait a little bit on it.
Oh, yeah, those are going to be all strong, man. You're about ready to flip. They're going to be. You're going to definitely have a full ass tent. You may end up moving some of those, huh?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're going to try to keep them in there. You know what you might have to do, Jason? Just clean up a little bit more than you want to on everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might have to specifically reduce your yield a little bit on the lowers to compensate for the amount you have in there. But I love it, dude. I think it's well worth it. You can make this happen. The management comes up to you, at this point to manage it correctly. And I've seen you do nothing but that. But I'm curious. I can't wait to watch this through to see how they do, because when you did your last grow, I was thinking, man, these plants are massive. They're going to bust when he flips. And they did, man. And you managed it well. Everything went perfect and had an incredible harvest. So it's exciting for me, too. My wife would say the same thing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, so the last grow I had, that was my first time I mainlined. Before that, I was just all about the scrog, So then I would worry about running out of room. If you're just going vertical, like in this situation, since I'm just growing vertical, when I get to the flip, I'm not too worried about overcrowding, because hopefully at that point I'm usually pretty good on my canopy control, that I'm level enough to where I don't have to, lay anything down or get a trellis out, trying to scrog it down to, let something catch up to it. So hopefully I'll keep it all level and, stick to the vertical growing.
Hey, you mentioned one thing earlier that sparked a thought in my mind, and I want to get this out before we go and say hi to G-Bay. He's with us and connected and got a ton of buds hanging there. But you noticed how you said earlier that one of your plants was growing longer on one side because it was facing towards the light and didn't have shade from the fan and all that shit. So that side, I think a lot of us have seen that if you're a tent grower. The one that's jammed in the corner, sometimes one side will be much better facing the light or facing more room, even just having more room. And that's a perfect example, in my opinion, of how the plant's smart enough to allocate its energy to the right places on its own. A lot of times people try to manipulate. I like to get my plant trained very minimal early and then let it go, man. Let it rip. Do some pruning, not massive strippings, but pruning and shit, and just let the plant feed it photons and let it do the rest, man, because it already knows. It's got millions of years of evolution, and that shows you right there. That's like a perfect example for if anyone's ever if you see them over manipulating their plants, and you can see it costing them yield in the end, you can kind of use that as a prime example of feed it photons and all the other environmental factors and shit that it needs, and let it go, man. It'll fucking bust for you. And they do that outside, like G-Bay over here. And shit, they get huge buds, man. All that free light.
Free light is good.
XYZ Vector joined us, and G-Bay too. Here, see, I don't have my wife. Everything's all screwed up here. She's my big toe. She's balanced, man. What's up, G-Bay, XY?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Just busy sitting here hanging out in trim camp, so, you know.
Is that what you're calling it now? Trim camp. That's
yeah, jail's a little harsh, right? Jail's, you don't want to be in jail.
No.
Camp, okay, I can handle camp.
If you go ask anyone in jail, they would love to be sitting there trimming with you, right? I get it, though. It's like buffering cocoa for us, man. It's like one of those, you're really happy to be doing it, but man, is it a son of a bitch, man.
Yeah, I watched you guys do that last time, and I was like, wow, I don't know if I could, man. But then, you know, a lot of people wouldn't be able to sit through this either, so. Yeah. Good to see you, though. Everyone in chat, hello.
You're right.
Yeah, it looks like you got your work cut out for you there, man. I don't envy you on that one.
No, nobody does.
Hey, but you got to pay your dues, man. You get that done, you get some damn good smoke for a long time.
Yeah.
Yes. Unlimited for months.
And jars of buds like money in the bank, man. Good quality homegrown cannabis, man. You need a new furnace, guess what? You know, you need something done, you trade, barter up and shit, man. So you know, the trade system, I can't wait to do that. I think I could get a lot more shit done if I had some quality cannabis in the jars and a backpack in the back seat when I'm on my way to do this, that, or the other, you know? Sometimes that's better than cash. If you're dealing with someone that has a lot of money, but they don't have access to real quality cannabis, it's better than cash, you know?
Yes.
It's just depends. Hey, I agree with you, Sevens. You can over manipulate a plant and get good harvest. I agree. I will say that. But I'll also push back and say oftentimes it does require extra vegging to compensate for that. And when you do extra vegging indoors, it kind of, I think sometimes it can defeat the purpose. If you're like me and you try to do it on, you know, not get too crazy with 10-week veg time and have to spend a shit ton of money per ounce to grow your homegrown, you know. But I'll give you that, man. I'm not saying it can't be done. I think a lot of times it's overdone and people do suffer from it. And they may only suffer in the fact that they have to veg longer than they flower. What's up, XY? How you living? We can't hear you.
Looks like you ran out of brownies.
No, he's had one too many. That's the thing. I think he tossed out one. I don't know, XY. We can't hear you, brother, if you're there. If you can hear us.
Oh, speaking of brownies, I got that decarb machine. So that Ardent. Yeah. And I got a batch going.
They're bee's knees, man. Everybody I've talked to said this is a bad machine. They just didn't like the size of the batch. But you're kind of a lone soldier over there eating this yourself, right?
Well, this is a big one. This will do up to 4 ounces of flour decarb at a time.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's more than that's a lot more.
Yeah, well, they sell different versions of this one. They got like a mini, and then they might have one more. I can't remember, and then there's another brand, Levo. They got a couple out, but they have two. They have one that looks like a coffee maker, and that's a small batch. That's only like 7 grams at a time or something.
That's it. That's the one.
Yeah,
7 grams was the magic number, a quarter ounce.
Yeah, and then you get Levo has a bigger one. I think their bigger one only does maybe a couple ounces or an ounce at a time, but it's still not that big. So that's why I went with this one, because they have the largest capacity besides the magic butter. But the magic butter, like, it had a minimum, like you had to put at least 2 cups, I think, of oil in there, which is quite a bit, unless you're, if you're just trying to make a small batch, like just for some cookies or something, like one little batch of cookies, and you only need a stick of butter, then, of course, I guess you could freeze it or put it in the fridge or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's good for like 2 years in the fridge or in the freezer.
Yeah, I believe that. Keep it out of light, keep it sealed up good.
XY said XY just left. He said he's working on his microphone problem.
Oh, but yeah, I made some atomic brownies out of that shit. But I'll tell you what I did though. I put some keef in there. I put like 5 grams of keef and decarbed it, and that was just for 1 stick of butter. And man, that shit will melt your face off. At least it did for
Oh
me.
yeah.
It was potent.
Our plants
Still-
are getting close to the end, man.
Oh yeah, look at that one in the middle, dude. That thing's as tall as your friggin' exhaust going out in the back.
Oh yeah. One in the middle, yeah, the guvy's hanging down, boxing it out. It has a pretty nice top on it. It'll be decent, but that thing got tall as hell. The one there on the left, the one on the left there, it's a tall, fat one too, and it's kind of it's blocking a smaller plant behind it. And then we got these short ones here in the front, but they're all going to be pretty nice. We probably got like, I'd say 2 weeks before the whole tent's down. Probably be like the 10th or something, November 10th maybe, or November 15th, somewhere in between there. And but I'm in no hurry.
So how's your experience been with this? Like with this new tent, you know, because you always grown in a 4x4, so this is a little bit smaller for you. So like, how's it, you know, transitioning to that, and then growing so many different strains that you got going on too? I see a bunch of different obstacles in there.
We've grown nothing but different strains since day one, man, in our tent.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, so we're used to that. But I don't know. It's just like growing in a 4x4, just a little smaller. It's easier to get to them. They're in smaller pots. I didn't maximize this grow at all. As far as we had some issues there when we were about to flip over and shit, and had to hold off for a week. Some of the plants I didn't like them and didn't keep them, so it's not filled to capacity, and the return on investment here would not be attractive to a lot of people, you know. So was it a success? Success is relative. No, it's not what I wanted. It's not as good as I can do, but I'm sure I am blessed to have them buds. If that seems like that's my honest answer, I can do much better than what we did, but I do feel I'm happy to have that, you know.
Yeah, that'll at least give you some good smoke coming back in. Then you got that 4x4 ready to roll, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the 4x4 set up right next to this and ready to go. All I gotta do is pop a light in it and get some seeds in there and shit and rock and roll. Now it's not on a stand. We don't have nothing. It's gonna be right back to the same old way, but I dig it, man. It'll work. We'll make some massive plants in the big tent. We're gonna try to maybe do some sea of greens over there in like maybe 2-gallon pots. So it won't really be a sea of green, but it'll be kind of smaller plants and pack them in there, you know.
Man, I would do a couple dozen plants or more in there.
You know how I think. That's exactly what I've been thinking. But it gets to be a little overwhelming with our system of hand watering and shit. And I mean, these are little 1-gallon pots that these are in, getting hand watered once a day. I'd say they're doing pretty dang good, you know. Sometimes we get them twice a day. I won't say we never do, but it's probably only a couple times a week.
Oh, they look good. Looks like you got some fat buds in there.
Yeah, they're frosty, man. They're getting washed out by the light. But this is weird. This is how I think. This is 2 hours of me losing photons because my door's open. So I don't want to dim my light and add to the loss. So I say, fuck it. We'll just let it wash out a little bit, you know?
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, like now, my tent's open, my humidity, temperature, light, everything's all over the board, but a little bit don't hurt it, I don't think.
Nah, we've been doing it for a long time. One thing that's tough around here is 2 hours with the door open fills my whole house with fucking dank weed smell, and I just hope someone doesn't catch a whiff or knock on the door, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because it's a lot different than the combustion smell. You know, you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Like, I mean, I don't really hide it around here. Of course, it's legal where I'm at, but like when family and friends come over, but they all know I grow, so it's not an issue like that. But I still I don't like to advertise it to people. So like when people come over, I typically have my door shut, my tent shut with exhaust. I'll turn the exhaust up a little bit too to really get that smell out. And then you can't smell it in the house here. If I got my tent shut, the exhaust going.
No, I can't hide this. Funny part was my parents moved in today, so they had a moving company, a full-on truck with a couple guys in and out of this
No
house.
way, dude.
I was just sitting at work and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, it's got to happen. I hope they're trustworthy dudes, but yeah, loud is an understatement.
Oh my, they were probably thinking like, I get a tip, lady.
Yeah. Where's my tip? If I was here, I would have hooked them up. Yeah, it was. It's pretty funny because they've given me the grace period. They're like, we know we're here, but we know this is happening, so we'll lay low until this is over.
Yeah.
We'll just set up our bed and get ourselves a comfortable spot and see you in 2 weeks, okay? And where we're gonna actually move in.
Tell mom and dad, get a comfortable seat right here beside me with a pair of scissors, ain't it?
I tried, man. They pulled the old arthritis card, right? Oh, we're old, or we can't do that. Our hands.
These hands worked hard. I can't do it. No, that's it. Yeah, your parents would be
I see it. They don't. I don't know. It's all right.
That's good stuff, man. That's cool though. You get to. Your parents are still around. You get to hang out with them now, and
Hell yeah, my roomies.
I was looking back through the chat and I saw Bonsai said he was transporting some clones right now. But that reminded me. Remember we were talking to, I think it was like a week or two ago on Instagram about how Seedsman, they're selling clones now. They ship it right to your door.
I think that's some shit, man. How much they want for a clone? Did you see?
Yeah, they vary in price. I think they're not too cheap, but they're not crazy expensive. I think they're like $35 a clone.
That seems reasonable to me, man. Honestly, it does.
Especially if that includes shipping.
Clone, right? It's already rooted, not just a cutting.
Yeah, it's rooted, and the ones I saw, I just watched. It was a little video that Rob from CLTV had on his channel, and they looked pretty good. They were pretty decent size, like almost teens. They look pretty healthy. Surprisingly,
that's me like a pretty good investment. $35 to get a rooted clone, especially if you're a person that has problems starting seedlings, or someone's just getting online with the growing and they kind of want to get their feet wet right away. They need their medicine, I thought about that, man. I've thought about this the other day. If the doctor told me I was diagnosed with cancer and I wasn't a grower and I wanted to start growing, the amount of time that it would take you to learn and understand and just the basics and then get a grow up and going into harvest, you're looking at a good 6 months at least, I thought of that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to change it up there.
Very good.
You get the clone already going, and that might cut your time down a lot,
Yeah, I used to grow from clone when I first started. That's all I knew because I worked at that commercial grow, and that's all they grew from was clone. They didn't have any mothers out there, so we had to buy our clones. But yeah, you just you skip that step. I like growing from seed now since I've been doing it, but that's still my high anxiety stage right there because that's the one I'm the least comfortable with because I'm still the newest to. But once I get past that stage, I'm good. But you remember that first grow I had with my seeds and that sour diesel didn't make it? That would have been a perfect time for clones. Like it was Seedsman, if the shipping could have been fast, like if you could have got it here soon because I could have ordered one and had it shipped in. But that's just a thought that we were talking about. I don't know if I'd have done that or not. That's cool. You got the option now.
Yeah. I tend to look at everything. I don't know why. I guess it's the entrepreneur in me. I tend to look at everything from a financial standpoint. And I sit here and think about, they sell seeds at what, $10 a seed or so? Isn't that about right? $10-15 a seed. How many seeds can you get off? How many seeds can you make at one clip? And then I think of clones. How many clones you can cut off of a massive plant? How expensive it is to keep that one plant alive versus making seeds, which is more fiscally responsible? I don't know the answer. I'm trying to figure it out in my head. It seems like seeds would be a cheaper thing to make and a bigger return on investment. So the fact that they're only $35, they get shipped to your house, they're already rooted, and you say they look pretty strong. Man, I find that to be a pretty good deal. It seems like it in my head. And I'm curious how they can offer them at that price and still make a kill. I mean, you could take a couple hundred clones off a massive plant, but you could also get more seeds off of the same size plant in my mind. Maybe I'm missing something, and it's easier to ship seeds.
Yeah, well, I know. Like when I first started growing here at my house, when I was doing clones, I used to get them here locally from a place that would provide dispensaries, and they were exclusive to. Oh shit! I spilled something. They were exclusive to dispensaries for the patient, not the commercial. But they shut down. But anyways, if I went on happy hour, I could get a clone for $15, so I could get I could get my whole tent filled up for $90, and that came with a pot, and it was soiled and it was rooted.
Damn. See, that's what I
Yeah,
mean. That's pretty damn good, and you have to do that on a massive scale to make it profitability in my mind, because that's a lot of labor to get to that point.
yeah. That commercial grow we cut a deal. I think we were getting clones for about $8 a clone. Of course, we were buying thousands at a time, though.
Volume pricing.
XYZ
Volume
vectors back
pricing.
here. I wonder if his horns work.
Hey,
we
can
hear
you
you
guys
now.
hear me? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Much better. Sorry. I had to leave to get my damn mic to work. So, hey, Jace, I have a question. You should. You got so many plants in there in such a small space. Maybe you should flip them.
Hey, didn't we have this conversation the last grow I had in that 5x5?
Yeah, and you didn't heed my advice, and you had big old monster plants. Not that they were bad, but
Well, hey, that's why I got the gorilla, the extra 2 foot on top. That way, if I start going through the roof, I can just keep going.
Just keep going, eh? Well, I'm not worried about your height. I'm worried about your
Width?
Your width, yes.
Nah, I think I'll be okay. I still got pretty good room in here. Let me see if I can get it out here.
Nah, I've seen that story before. I've grown the same grow you're doing, and I didn't flip it, and I only ended up with 3 plants. Yeah, if you flip them now, you might be able to keep all 6, but if you wait too much longer, you're only going to have 3.
Well, the good thing is I've only got, let's see, maybe 5 gallons, or no, maybe 4 gallons of nutrients left. So once that gets done, I'm gonna flip. I don't want to waste those nutrients.
No, of course not. But I mean, can't you run those newts into the flip a little bit?
Yeah, you could. That's just like my SOP. Like once I flip into flower, that's my time to clean out my res. Transition
Oh,
everything.
okay. Yeah, I got you. Do your maintenance crap.
Yeah, I like to empty my res out and soap it out, wash it out, disinfect it.
Yep. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. I try to avoid that at all costs till the end of the grow, and I've been lucky in being able to do that. But when I first started growing, I couldn't get more than 2 weeks out of a res before I had to clean it.
I forgot I had my goth girl watching over my edibles right there, making them more potent.
And there you go.
Nice.
Shout out Seed Person. She's gonna make that weed that much stronger.
See, I forgot to pin the link, man. Let me put it back up there. Thank you, Seed Person. Shit.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna do Seed Person's Goth Girl next grow. I bought some from Cheap Home Grow. Who's got to host it? He's got that Velvet Punch or whatever it is. Is it Velvet Punch? I forget.
Yeah, that's Jack's Velvet Punch.
Yeah.
Yep.
And have any of you guys grown Velvet Punch before?
Seed Person has. I think Artman has too, if I remember correctly.
I don't have any of G-Bay Genetics Super Monster flower he's got behind him, but
That is a Hawaiian cross. That was a couple of big girls there. The 90s, unknown 90s Hawaiian strain crossed with Black Widow. Thunder Dan mixed up a bunch of fem seeds there about a year ago. Got them out to the crew, and everyone's been going crazy with them. So a lot of good crosses.
Looks like it.
Yeah, been working out all right.
Yeah,
I gotta.
you're in trim jail, but you want to call it the trim camp.
Oh yeah, we're here on vacation for a few weeks. Trying to make it positive, man.
Yeah, I know that. Have you ever thought like a trim bag or something? Or
I have, but I one thing I like to hold to myself is that I grow, you know, my hands are on these plants multiple times throughout the season, all the way to the point where they make it to the jar.
okay,
There's
that's
never
fair.
a mass sweep over the plants. They all get their individual care. And generally, at the end of the season, it used to be my wife, but I no longer have a wife. I'm flying solo now. It was just me, her, and a couple friends or whatever would sit in this basement and just go through the crop. So I did get some help a couple weeks ago. Crazy Pot Mom came up and gave me a hand. I may have some more friends coming and helping, but you know, so far it looks like just me, and I don't
Oh
mind.
well,
I don't mind because
that's
at the end of it all, to be able to say that I did it, guys, hoorah. It is painful though. It is painful, but good endurance, good time to think too. I'm in a little self-reflecting state right now, so this is really good time for me to just sit and reflect. And I need one of
well.
those, I think, though.
Yeah, I need some of those too. I do have some brownie left, so I've been eating some.
Brownie, XYZ, did you need a brownie? I get you a brownie right here. Here you go, buddy.
Yeah, there you go. Eat it up, Buttercup.
Falling apart.
Oh, that's such a terrible thing.
There you go. Bottoms up, man. For you, my
Somebody,
friend.
somebody's getting a phone call, man.
Uh,
Hello? Who's this?
hey, what do you want, boss? I'm done.
I'm on a fucking show.
Yeah, I already put my goddamn 12 hours in. Shut up.
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast, huh?
No, I can't say that to my boss. She ain't a piece of shit, but.
I can't either. She'll be back in a little bit, and she would be nuts.
Oh yeah, you don't want to do that, man.
Every time I'm at work and people ask, I'll say she's the owner. That way, if you have any gripes, comments, or complaints, here's her email. That's Chief and CEO, and here's her phone number. You can reach her at her house right here at any time, night or day. It's funny.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Usually. Yeah. I see how that works. I know how that works because I'm the one that sucks all the crap up usually when programmers screw up, and I have one that's really doing a number on things. And it's like everything he touches, I'm having to clean up every place that he's touched. It's really pissing me off. Anyways, let's not talk about those negative things. This is not a negative show.
I was thinking
This is
about
nice.
you yesterday, man. I was changing my. We got that truck. I was changing my oil, and everything in his computer, man.
Oh,
There's nothing. I never had a car that was made in the same decade that I was in. That all the
yeah,
computer shit, and
yeah.
there's nothing you can really do. You can't even see the engine. It's just a big plastic cap over everything. But anyhow,
Hmm.
they went back to a 1950s technology on the oil filters. You don't buy an oil filter, you just buy the cartridge, man. This is for a Chevy Colorado, 2020 Chevy Colorado. And it has but it's a little bit hard to get to. But when I went to buy the oil filter, they gave me that cartridge, and I was standing there thinking, because that's how they used to be way back in the day. They were big cartridges. I don't know if you remember them. And that was before my time too, but I remember them being on trucks, and G-Bay probably remembers shit like that on excavators and shit. They have the fuel filters that are like that too. You can just take the thing out, but it's a weird.
Yeah,
I thought all these difference is what a contrast. All computers, and they go back to this. I think XYZ would be great with this. He could get in here and change out the chip for me, make it run better.
Well, hey, Smart, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice. They have these things called OBD readers. Go out and buy you one. Go get one from Harbor Freight. Don't spend more than $40 on it. But
What's it for?
you plug it into there's under your dashboard. There's like this connector, a really weird looking like connector.
Oh,
that
yeah.
only this.
Onboard diagnostics. So it's a
Oh,
code
my
Yes.
dad has that. My dad's a-
P109 catalytic converter.
Yes.
You mean like a code reader when your car
Yep.
trips a code? Yep. Yeah, my dad has
When you
that
go to
shit.
sell your car, you reset your check engine light.
Yeah, that's it. Reset your check engine light. I had to sell my old '88 truck,
Don't do
man.
that.
I was a little upset. I didn't want to. There was no check engine light on that truck. Legitimately, 100,000 original miles. Nice, man. Nice powder coated white wheels. I didn't want to get rid of it, but it's getting old. It's carbureted. Started smoking a little bit on me and shit. I just didn't want to fuck with it no more. Rust. That looks good. Let me put you on the big screen. What kind's that?
Yeah.
An outdoor bud always looks
This is
different.
wedding cake. So
Ooh.
probably a little bit early by a week or two, but when you're out here in the elements, you got to kind of just take what you can get. So this is no joke, this wedding cake, though. This is super, super frosty. And it's got that dank, I call it like the coffee kind of smell. It doesn't smell like coffee per se, but it's got the deep, rich, like it's robust. Like when you, like I say, the way I describe it is like when the bud's here, I can't smell it. When I smell it like that, it's like, oh, got that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Like not the umami, not the savory, but just a deep, deep undertone. Really, 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 really dank weed. So it's like I refer to it as coffee. Kind of when you open a fresh thing of beans or whatever.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't really smell it across the room, but like if you put your face near that jar, it's just like the deepest smell of coffee ever. So good. It's kind of the same effect I get from it. It's one of the winners in my garden for sure. It's pretty.
And oftentimes as the dry and cure takes place, those smells can change. They can either strengthen, mellow out, shit like that. It's been weird. I've had some that smelled not so great turn into pretty good ones. You know what I mean? And I've had other ones that smelled great coming off. They kind of muted a lot, and so it's always fun to watch that. But I'm with you, man. It's nice whenever you smell like, for instance, a rubber ball smell on the stem rub. Then it goes into flower and it keeps that. And then when you cure it, it still has that. But I've had ones, they were like real fruity, and they kind of wasn't like that in the end. When they were smoking them, they didn't taste anything like they should based on their smell and flower. You know how that goes.
Smoking some of the grape hoolie.
Oh, cheers, Hooli. How is it?
Yeah. Oh. So and it's got a legit sweet grape smell to it, almost like a
That's cool.
grape jelly or like something. I don't know. It's damn good. And this was early too, because this got kind of hammered by a storm, and the plant took a lot of damage, so a lot of it had to come down kind of early. Sorry, that light's really getting in the way there, but it's still.
Our buddy I seen, he's growing that. He's doing a project. He has a male grape hoolie that he's taking pollen from and everything, man. So the grape hoolie has got good praise far and wide.
Oh, and it's great when you burn it. I've only really burnt it in a paper so much, but it's got a nice flavor on the exhale, like, in the smoke. So still, it hasn't it hasn't cured up yet. Obviously, it's just one in a jar a week time, but yeah, damn good, man. So far, this garden's a winner this year, man. I was so scared of that storm, but the more I spend time down here, just poking my head around all the buds, investigating them, getting used to each strain and the smells and the way the bud is forming and drying out. I do have some loose early stuff. They still got trichomes. We'll do something with them.
That's it. Wash them up, whatever.
Yeah. So win-win over here, man. It's just putting in the work.
It doesn't seem like that grape hoolie is a fire strain, man. It doesn't seem like, and I might be a little biased here, but it doesn't seem like the best seeds come from our friends in the community.
Hell yeah.
Like whether it be a Chad Westport or Thunder Dan or a Spartan Grown or something from Caribou or something. Those seeds always seem to be the best, man, that come from around the American one. There's, I don't know, seed person. People are starting to really get in growing a lot of seed person seeds. That's pretty freaking cool. And he put all that out there on his own dollar. Said he'd be here a little bit later. My wife will be coming too. If anyone's wondering, she went to the Halloween parade that's going on in our town down the street, and she'll be back later.
So yeah, that's my plan moving forward. Is I get a bunch of rigs from art that are from a bunch of people around here, like people you just mentioned here on the show, and just friends of the community. And that's I think that's what I'm planning for my next grow, is just to get in there and just do a bunch of those. I want to save up though, because I want to do that Farmer Freeman test with it too, just to make sure.
Yep. I got a dozen of those, man. It's always hard to figure which seeds you want to shoot your load on, if you will. You know, you got 12 of them. You want to do maybe a 6-pack now and a 6-pack later. And, you know, then you got to kind of figure out, well, do I have room? Because next time I do that, I want to be able to keep clones. We got so much regulars that are fire from like Chef OMJ, like I said, Spartan, Fluffs. These are just a couple that sent us in the last few months, and they're all regs. And I want to get into them, but I'm thinking, man, it sucks. One thing about ours is if I buffer the cocoa and start like 50 little seeds and grow them all up, that's a shit ton of cocoa that I have to prepare just to throw a bunch of it away for males and shit. So it's a little different. It's hard to reuse it after it gets to that age. You really have to go through a lot more processing to make it back to a good, viable substrate for seedlings, and to be able to trust it. You know, you got to let it dry out. That takes space and shit. So it's a lot. So those tests really come in handy to be able to test them when they're young and not waste a lot of electricity, a lot of substrate. You know, now if you're using live soil, I guess it doesn't really matter. You just pop it out and put something else in, pretty much. And so there's a lot of pluses and minuses to paying I think they're $15 a test now. If you buy them on 420 or on Black Friday, I think you can get them for 10 for 100. So that's what we always do. And if you message the guy and you're buying a bunch, he'll work with you. You know, he when he was on our show, Farmer Freeman came on our show twice actually and did an interview with us for an hour. And he said, I asked him what's the craziest shit he saw. He said some dude sent him 500 seeds or 100 seeds. I can't remember. And he forgot they were feminized and they tested them all. So the dude paid like thousands of dollars to test a bunch of seeds and they were feminized. Everyone started coming back. And so he said, I ended up working with the dude and I did his next round for half off or something. Because I guess he was always getting big orders and he fucked up. And I was like, wow, that's an expensive mess up, man. You know?
That's good business practice right there. That's how you get customers back.
Oh, he's a great dude, man. I'll always recommend Farmer Freeman. We've had him on here and he's never given us anything. He don't sponsor us or anything. I like to call a spade a spade. That dude has integrity and I like him. He's smart. He understands the industry. He understands what the industry wants and what they don't want. And he's perfect for the job, man. That's my take on the guy.
Yeah, and I know we talked about it before. I mean, it's not for everybody. I mean, that's money out of your pocket that a lot of people wouldn't want to spend. But like in my case, I would love to because, I mean, yeah, that's money I got to spend. But I mean, I stay within my 6 plant count limit. So if I'm doing rigs, you know, I'm not going to pump just 6 seeds. I'm probably going to do, you know, 10 or 12. And I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait to see, you know, what the sex is on that because I train these early. I mean, I top them as soon as I can, and that affects my training on everything in here. So I would want to know as soon as I can which ones I'm keeping or not.
Yep. And you look at it as a return on investment, as I mentioned earlier. I look at things financially. So if you're going to get 10 seeds tested for $100, you get to the end of your grow and you add up all your costs. You add that 100 in, and then you break it down to per gram, per ounce, however you want to do it, and you figure out what you're paying. I think oftentimes you're still going to be way, way more in the advantage at the end of the grow, you know, cost per gram, cost per ounce, whatever. You'll still be a lot better than you can buy on the streets probably, or in a dispensary, and it'll be better, obviously. You'll know what's on it, et cetera, et cetera. So I think in the long run, the return on investment isn't bad, but there's a lot of people out there that'll be like, fuck that. I'm not paying that. That's crazy. And I get that. I really do understand that side of it, you know, especially someone like we just mentioned. If you're in living soil, man, you can start a bunch, flip them, and if they ain't good, you cut them, get rid of them. Your worms and shit, your microbes keep working, you don't have to like do a whole bunch to that substrate. Like for instance, Asinai. I mean, he does. I'm not trying to downplay what they do to their soil, but it's a lot different. You don't have to like literally dump it and start over and shit. So yeah, it's pretty. It's kind of specific to person, like every other part of growing.
Well, anyone that's been doing this for any amount of time, you can't argue the convenience of a feminized seed.
No,
It's just, it's bam, it's there. But a guy like me, who's kind of like a little mad scientist, I like to fuck around a lot with these plants. And
yeah,
you know, pollen chucking is one of my things. I am in no way, shape, or form a breeder. It's my name says G-Bay Genetics, but I'll give you the quick backstory. I'm just a weed guy around here, so people would come to me for clones and stuff. Just when it came to cannabis, I knew my shit, so that's where my name came from. But I don't do any breeding at all. I do some pollen chucking at best. But that's where I like to grow the males because not like the females give me the flower and the actual medicine, but the males give me a look at the depth of the plant itself, like the species. You know what I mean? When you're growing just feminized, I don't even really look at the characteristics. I know that plant's going to flower for me. I'm not really looking to see what crazy little characteristics it has or stuff like that. I find that more interesting when I have yet to divide the plant into male or female. I'm looking at its characteristics unbiased. And then I get to find out when the plant itself matures or when I turn the light. But like they were saying, if you have a 6 plant count, yeah, I'm growing 12 plants.
yeah.
Plant count. Nugs up.
Oh, yeah.
J5, is that a camel?
That's a hump.
Humpdazed.
Do the Humpty Hump. Do me, baby.
Mike.
I love he's got the camels, man.
I love the camels. What's up, J5?
What up? What up?
How's life treating you today?
Oh, we're LIVN. You know how we do.
That's it. LIVIN, right?
I'm gonna
Every
take
day,
a
bro.
peek. I'm gonna
What
take
are
a
you
peek at
smoking
that. I just pulled this chunk of OG out, a couple branches to puff on. Maybe this one's a lot better.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's getting down on the outdoor buds now.
It's
Well
nice.
deserved. The fruits of your labor. Ah, there's Crispy Wannabe coming back to join us. I got him with it early, too. Oh, cool. He brings the Halloween theme in. Look, we got a Humpdazed on the screen, too.
Welcome back. Join the party.
I feel like I just came from a party.
How's
And
the
it was
party?
fun. It was tons of fun. Big energy, big good energy.
Did they have the all the stuff you wanted to see?
They had all the stuff I wanted to see, so I'm excited that I got to see all that. Oh, you got the camels, the Humpdazed, J5, XYZ, G-Bay, OK Jace, everybody in chat. It's so good to be here right now. Your energy is continued with everything that I just went through, and I see anything grows. Agnes Beckett, Clay, Sheldon, Penny. It's awesome to see you guys.
Or seed person was asking.
Seed person, cheers, buddy. I've been thinking about your buds that we're gonna be scuffing soon, or your seeds. I mean, that we're gonna be scuffing soon, and the buds we're gonna be getting out of. I was just dreaming about the buds to come.
Old cut block.
Nice.
Cut block bucket tipper. AKA Angus Beckett.
Angus Beckett.
He's a bad man.
Hey, you know what's funny? They started selling all drywall, a lot of the drywall buckets now, because that's what I do, is plaster and drywall. But I buy a lot of drywall in the buckets. And now they're turning all the buckets into black buckets. And when they're done and they're emptied and they're all cleaned out, I look at them and I'm thinking, they're just begging me to start a DWC in a couple of these. We've never done it. It's something I've always wanted to do. And now I got nothing but stacks of black buckets everywhere and lids to boot. Now, the lids aren't black. They're usually colored, but not a problem. They're usually, some of them are pretty dark, you know. depending on what weight we get. But yeah, the bucket tipper, he said.
Yeah.
That's when you grow in a bucket and the plant's so big that the wind blows and tops it over. That's a bucket tipper. The buds get so fat they split the plant right down the ground.
I'm not sure what it is. I think it has something to do with Melmac mushrooms.
Oh, that's where I was from, right? Melmac.
That's right.
And
That's right.
Oh.
I remember.
he used to
We're
eat,
showing our age.
he used to eat cats. He wanted to eat the cat. You look at me making excuses.
Cat on
You
the
guys are right. I got excuses for everything. I'm no good. My mom was right. I'll never amount to anything.
Oh my goodness.
I got buckets and no grow in them. Look at G-Babe, that's harsh. I'm just kidding. My mother was very
You
loving.
know, we used to have the 4x4.
I just moved my mom in with me, and I'm like, oh man, I hope they love me still.
Yeah. His parents just moved in with him today, and he's got all of that bud hanging up. And he
Oh,
says,
that's trimming help.
I tried smart. They just, you know, they're just like, nope. You pay rent, we're just roommates. All right.
Well,
Plus, I want a good job.
The house
So.
full of good medicine, right? That might help with the arthritis.
Yeah, well, that's it, right? I told them free range, you know. They just kind of laughed at me, and they're like, hey, we used to give you shit for trying to pull this off at the house back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, you know, now it's my place. Getting mad.
You'll find your mom next summer out there in the garden watering your plants, poking around.
Oh, you know it.
Let me know it. Yep.
They can help with that part, I think. I don't think that.
Oh, I'm sure they'll enjoy watching them grow.
Yeah, mother's love. It works on plants too.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, my mom's a cute hippie lady, so you know she'll just be out there in her little sundress and sun hat and water my plants for me. It'll be beautiful. Get the old man to play some guitar for him or something.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, basically I'm the retirement spot for them. Gonna build this place up for them nice.
That's
Spot
awesome.
for them. Yeah.
never
I work all the time, right? I'm never here really. So it's like,
that, you know, if you don't have kids, man, when you get older, it's tough. Like you really need some help, and I guess that's the whole thing. You know, everybody. I don't have any kids. I'm gonna be stuck by myself in old age, man.
Yeah. Well, I got 2 kids, right? But me and Barefoot, we split our kids up. So it's like I only have them 2 weeks of the month, right? So
Yeah.
I got a lot of time that I don't need to be worrying about it.
You're a good
Yeah.
dad, G. You're a damn good dad,
You-
man.
We all take care of our kids, you know, when they're small. We got to raise them up, but then when you get old, they got to take care of us.
Well, my kids are all 11 and 15, so they don't need the pampering on the ass. They don't need the hand holding anymore. They're into electronics, and you know what I mean. So
Are they into trimming some dank ass bud?
Yeah,
couple more
yeah.
years,
Or
couple more years, man.
Come on,
I thought
kids.
about it. I thought.
Hey, I gotta say though, man, out of all the attributes I judge people on, being a good dad is top. That's more important to me and my friends and my acquaintances and the people I surround myself with than say growing buds or what car they drive or how much money they can bring in my life. You know, that's a solid dude. If the guy's a good dad, he's pretty much solid in every other aspect in his life. So that's a quality I look for. You know what I mean? Maybe it's
He's a
because
good dad. Dogs like him.
Yep.
That's like I always joke around because like there's always little memes and stuff about like me just out being a single dad and all the girls are like,
Yeah.
is that what happened? My daughter, listen to this. The other day at the grocery store, some lady comes by and she's like, "Wow, you have beautiful eyes." I haven't been hit on in a long time, so I choked. I was and I walked.
Damn.
I look at my daughter and I'm like, "See that? Dad still got it." And she goes,
That's right.
"Dad, she was old."
She's old. Is that?
I'm
is
like,
that-
"Yeah, man." I'm like, "You're not even let me have that." Like,
Wah, wah,
yeah,
wah.
whatever. Dad, she was old. I'm like,
with this younger generation, you gotta spell it out for them, G-Bay. It's P-I-M-P. Spell them.
That's
how
right.
I get mine.
Pimp. Pimp.
Yeah, too funny.
I
But
wanted
yeah,
to say
man,
hi
like
to the person. He just joined us. And,
Cheers, seed person.
SP1.
What's up? Can you guys hear me all right?
We can hear you great.
Okay, cool. I have weird headphones in. I wasn't sure if the mic worked or not. But what's up? How y'all doing?
Super.
Just living the
Is
dream.
Is it
Yep.
like muffled or anything?
A little bit, yeah.
It's
A little
a
bit.
little bit.
I can switch my headphones. Hang on a second.
While you
Be
do
back.
that, I want to say cheers to Rocinante. He says that he's taking care of his pops. Being in home care is tough. And I know that's one reason why he hasn't had as much chance to come on and show us his the tissue cultures and stuff, because he's got some heavy shit he's dealing with, man. And it wasn't my place to say anything, but he's there saying that he has helped take his dad through a surgery and stuff, and that's a lot. And so we're with you, Ross, and not they sending out some good vibes and shit, man. And I know your dad's and them little cats too are lucky to have you in their life, and a man of your integrity and etc.
I second that. How's this?
Yeah, that
We go-
sounds great. You sound crystal clear.
Good.
Remember, and family is in todos. Family's everything.
That's it.
Hell yeah, man. It is.
When people are on their deathbeds, they don't say, "Bring me my trophies, bring me my paycheck, bring me my checkbook, all that shit, bring me my new car." They say, "Where's my family? Where's the dude I ain't seen in years? I want to see him before I go." You know, that's the thing. You're absolutely right. I think that's pretty powerful stuff.
Bring me my blunt.
Bring me my blood, damn it! I gotta
That's
smoke
what I
out
think
before it's over,
Bring me my
man.
blunt. Bring me my blunt.
That's it. Damn, J5's got some fire. Let me put you in the big screen here for a second. He's showing some crazy good outdoor there.
This
What's
is
this
this
one?
is this is that that triploid. I'm about to check it to see if it's got seed in it. I think it's going to be watermelon seed.
It didn't turn out so great though, as far as like heavy duty buds like some of the other ones, huh? I thought it was supposed
It's
to
pretty
be.
still.
I thought it was supposed to be some special.
No,
super bud, but no, it's not. It's overrated.
regular old weed. Like the
That's my ignorance
diploids look
showing
just as
through.
nice.
That's my
It's
ignorance
nice
showing
bud.
through. It looks nice, but some of them other ones you had seem like they got a lot bigger for the same age. Oh yeah, that'll be nice. It's
Yeah.
got some color on it. It's hard to see in that light, but there's a little color there. It looks
And
like.
quality over quantity, right? And that's their claim to fame with that seed. Am I correct? They're supposed to be all
No,
that.
it was
And
supposed to be bigger, faster, higher
Yeah.
numbers, finish earlier.
Well, maybe
It's
it'll
supposed to be all
come
that
through
in
without
Cracker
the
Jacks.
aspect of being like fire. I hope it's fire for you. I hope
You're
you
not-
at least get that.
You're not supposed to be able to pollinate it, which I tried to do. So we're about to see what came out of that.
I hope there's
Yeah,
some
if
in
you
there,
get
man.
seeds, man, I'm gonna doubt your triploid
There's a triploid.
heritage there.
Yeah. I think it's going to be like watermelon seed. Like
Like
seedless
the-
watermelon seed. You know what I mean?
Yep, the little
Yeah,
white.
little
Yeah.
whites.
Yeah.
Are you gonna try germinate any of those seeds if you get some?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Have y'all ever seen freak show seeds? They're like
No,
all weirdly shaped and white, and they look like they wouldn't pop, but that's just how they look. So
No
you can't
shit.
judge it by the way it looks. Yeah, you got to try it.
Yeah. So the what was that, monster show or freak show? Yeah, freak show. That just sounds like a weird plant. Period.
Yeah, it's got all the mutations and fern-like leaf growth and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember you growing it, and it was like, that is one strange looking plant there, brother.
there's a swath of those plants. You got the Australian bastard cannabis, ABC or whatever, that grows a little freaky. You got the duckfoot that grows a little freaky. You got the Dr. Grinspoon strain that grows like single bracts all out on these big long colas. And there's a few of them out there that really you look at them and think, what the, that doesn't look, I think I fucked something up probably, you know?
I did a little project once, and the plant turned out just like a spoon. It was a kind of cool plant. I called it G-berry. It was just a little thing I was fucking with, but it was it grew so finicky and shit. I just dropped the whole thing, but it literally turned out like that. It was like, like some buds, like they'll grow like together like this. This was like each one just grew separate, so it was just like the grim spoon. Very, very secular looking plant. Like it was just separate bracts all over. But covered and super stinky, but oily trichomes, like greasy. Like if you grab the plant, you went like this, you look at your hand, and it would literally be shiny.
Oh,
if you rolled a joint of it, you would see there would be oil spots on the paper.
Hard to keep it lit, all that shit, huh?
I couldn't make concentrates out of it. It just stayed goopy.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, it was weird. So I just got rid of the whole thing altogether.
Too much effort and too little reward.
It was neat though, like to see that, to go from that cycle of putting pollen on a plant, getting a seed, growing out a couple different variations of it, noticing that it was really weird, trying to bring it forth into concentration form or just whatever, and just being like, what the fuck is this? Like, cool, but no thanks, bye. Like, I need a bit of weight at the end of the day.
You need a heavy girl.
Yeah, right? A little bit of thick thighs there,
Thick thighs.
I don't know about these skinny ones anymore, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're hurting for the pushing, so. Anyways. Well, that sucks. Your daughter is like, she's old. And you were probably feeling good about the whole thing. So Smart.
So you need to do like I did. You need a little. The way I hooked Crispy in was with a little conversation and Hennessy. Got it all warmed up, and I just
Hennessy,
man. Oh yeah. I told her that's it. I took her out on the dance floor, showed her my moves. It was I'll tell you
what song was it? Come on.
Suave and Debonair. It was Keith Sweat, man. What do you think?
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like bounce.
No.
No, it was more classy music playing, eh?
I told her the Suave and Debonair. That's me.
Yes, indeed.
Hey,
I'm co-signing that for sure. It's the truth.
It's my story. I tell it how I like.
Hey, you tell it just the way you remember it, Smite. That's all you can do.
I stopped short when we were driving down the road. I hit the brakes. Stop short. Anyhow, what was you going to ask, XYZ?
Your plant's right there. Some of them are looking like really muscular there. They're looking good.
They're chunky. I got a couple of chunkers. They're small plants, but they're chunky. They still got a couple weeks left, man. They're on swole. That one's taller than hell. And
it's got fat buds all the way down.
Jolly Green Giant plant there.
That's that Sky Cuddler across with Black Widow. And then there's another one there on the left. It's in the middle left. It's tall too. You can see it. It's kind of chunky. Got a couple chunkers going down through. The three in the front there are just solid from top to bottom.
So you did the see a green grow. What would you do different if you're gonna do this grow next time? What would you change about it?
Okay, Jace.
Not do it.
No. Okay. Jace asked me earlier. What I thought
okay.
about
I'm sorry.
No, I'll tell you the same thing I told him. Is that it's funny because every other grow I go to or look at, I always try to accentuate the positive, and I don't know why. But when it comes to me, I can only get the negatives.
Accentuate the negatives. I know.
Yeah, I really hold myself to my feet to the fire, man. And this was not a successful grow. Now, don't get that confused with me not being grateful for what we have based on what we put into it to get to this point. But I could have did a lot better if we didn't have some plants get lost because they didn't make it through the struggles that we encountered early. And we still don't know what the fuck it was, but that's a whole other conversation. So there's the flaw there. So our return on investment isn't what it should be. and I was prepared for the different heights and all that shit. But there's empty space in that tent that could be packed tighter. And I think if they would have did better for a few more days, I could have got them a slightly taller, got some more out of those other ones, maybe trained that one or something. I could have did a few things to get better. But again, all in all, I'm happy. We're going to have some, they smell great. They're frosty, but there's probably only going to be, I don't know, couple jars full of bud there. You know what I mean? It's not, but we didn't pay a lot. So return on investment that way is good, but time,
Time,
it's, I wouldn't consider it a success, but I'm looking forward to smoking the shit out of them chunky ass frosty bud. The white drains them out, XYZ, but I look at it as I got my door open for 2 hours and I'm already taking a loss in flux because of that. So I'm not dimming my light so I can see better. I got to give them what they can get for 2 hours,
Oh yeah. Well, that's first world problem right there. But so my point is this: I mean, you grew the sky cuddler. Now that's probably an awesome plant, but I don't know if it's an awesome plant for your method of growing right here. I mean,
I agree. It's not for good indoors unless you want to maybe top it and train it out. It would probably do great that way. But to let it grow natural like that, oh no, maybe not.
And then you didn't top any of these plants. It looks like.
No,
not a single one. Now, I'm liking the middle one, the middle center one. That one looks like a big freaking chonker right there.
It is. It's
it's
fat.
one of my favorites too. It looks like it'll finish first, and
probably.
My goal would be to have 12 of those in here, man. Packed wall to wall with those. That's what to me would be a success, Or you maybe even like that one on the left that's kind of like tall, but not the tallest plant in there. You see it?
Yeah, that's not a bad one. Yeah,
if I could pack 12 of those in there, it's going to be hard running different strains and shit. So I'm willing to take that hit. It's a known and understood loss at this point, but I want to make sure that we can do better than this. But does that answer your question fairly?
Yeah. No. I'm very happy with the grow. I mean, you answered my question what you'd do differently, like cut the sky color. But I think the sea of green method only really works if you're doing the same strain, it looks like.
I agree.
Yes. I think that would have helped, But like Smut said, we knew this going in, doing all these. We even said we were glutton for punishment, growing these different strains that we have no clue how they're going to grow, what they're going to do, and we're just going to lump it. We should, in the future, grow a mom. Like if we could have taken clones off of that center one and then done a sea of green, I think that we'd be.
You'd be in like Flynn.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this tent may see some clones from the 4x4 when we start. Yes. Especially if we spend tickets to get Farmer Freeman to test them, then we can yank some clones, pop them in this tent, flower those out, you know what I mean? Do one of those.
Yep.
But XYZ, the biggest caveat here that I'm surprised you missed out of all this was the fact that these little half-gallon pots are only getting watered once a day by hand. And producing this bud right here, that goes against. I mean, they dry out almost completely in between grows. I'm surprised they stand up straight, man, because there's enough room for them to go over. And I'm waiting one day to open it up, and they just be like dominoes everywhere. But
there's a couple tall girls that might.
It goes against all the principles. It goes against all the principles that we teach about cocoa and high frequency fertigation and everything else. And that would also produce a much better product if I had fertigation drippers on there and some sort of an interval of regularity in that, that would really make them grow a lot bigger in the same time frame.
Yeah, so Smart, let me tell you a quick story about my first grow when it became legal. So I was doing an RDWC system, and I thought I had autos, but I had photos. So I vegged them for almost 2 months, flipped them, and then they just went crazy. They just outgrew my tent. So I had to take I only had 2 plants, so I had to take them both out, put them in cocoa, and I put them in a closet. And I really couldn't water them as frequently as I wanted. I was watering maybe in a 5-gallon cocoa. I was watering it maybe once every couple days because I'd have to
Yep.
mix up newts and go through that whole process. And they did pretty good. They don't look as good as your plants. I mean, your one day was 3 times better than my once every 3 days. So don't be so upset. They will grow in cocoa if you're watering it like soil, kind of, and they will
Yeah, I
grow
mean,
that way. They're not optimal, but
exactly. It's not, and I've noticed, see, XY, when we did have a fertigation system, the massive difference in growth when we could water, 8 times a day versus once or twice. We can usually get them in veg twice a day, but in flower, we have to drop it down to one. And then oftentimes that will require me to pull one out, test the EC, and I may adjust my fertigation inflow based on, are they getting too much salinity and suffering from root, stress and all that. So it comes with its own thing. You kind of have to watch them, or they'll go south real quick. But at the same time, the lights are on at an inoptimal time for me to be in there more than once a day, and it's just how it is. So
well,
that's why when
Well,
people ask
see-
me, like, but I've had other people, like I had someone message me and say, you could do a lot better if you did this, this, and this. And they were spot on. And I'm thinking, I just don't have that luxury of that time right now while the lights are on, etc. And you get it.
I hear you. So, speaking of that, Smart, I do have a fertigation system. You don't really have a good res for it.
No, I
I
just use a bucket. What I do is I mix pretty much every day just so it's fresh. So I have a
Yeah.
stock solution bucket that I'll mix up, and it's good for about 3 to 4 days. I'll come in, take a scoop out, put it in an empty bucket, add fresh water to it until it gets down to my target EC, pH it, and I go in and put it on them. And then it's nice and it's chilled. It's because when you mix them, it brings the coolness down to, oftentimes it'll be like 66, 67, 69, so it's right there. And I'll make sure that I pH it good. And then you're putting it on freshly oxygenated water at the right temperature, and the nutrients are carried along with it. And it seems to do really good. But that's how we get around having a chiller and everything else. Plus, I keep my newts in a different part of the house, and it stays a lot cooler, and they seem to stay pretty nice that way. I mix them somewhere else and bring them to this room.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Well, I started off the same way you are with your system right now, hand watering, or I grew some okay bud, but I was mixing up my newts way too strong. But that's a different story for a different time. But yeah, I mean, you do have a fertigation system with your name on it. I just have to get home and then I gotta get back to California. But I'm dragging all my shit up to California, so I'm gonna get that
We're not
going
really
for you
ready.
and get it in the mail.
We're probably not even.
We're not ready.
We're not even really ready for it. We don't have the we don't have our tents up on benches and shit or any of that right now. And I can't do that with the 4x4. It's too tall. So
Yeah.
I only have a little bit of space above it. It wouldn't be enough to put a bucket under it or anything. So,
No,
I
and it's
hear
going to
ya.
be tight.
so
That's going to be tight with the, to get it up.
but you'll see, we'll get some fat buds out of there.
And the 4x4 anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you do have that tray, right?
And the little
Yeah,
We have a tray in the little tent, yes.
Yeah, well, if you get a tray in the bigger tank, I mean, you don't need to necessarily raise it. I've got a pump that will suck it
Exactly.
out. That you can leave it at floor level. I mean, if you're willing to try playing with that, yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome because we're limited on the height. So vertically challenged in that room, and we
Yeah.
did discover, we do have the space to put our exhaust and the exhaust fans and stuff up on top of the 4x4, and then there's very little. There's inches. You're talking inches. So
yeah,
You
you're
know
not getting
how-
anything
we're
under
not-
it.
yeah, we discussed it, and it's just we'd have to make the table so low. It's not worth doing it on that 4x4. Not there. Not in that room. Now, if we legalize, we have a room set up that's huge. It's got a hardwooden floor and
10-foot ceiling.
it's I just think it's a living room, so that's where, and it'll be cleared out and ready for just that.
Hey, if they legalize, I'm gonna see y'all on Candy Crips. I know y'all are gonna go all out.
It ain't y'all, it's my wife. Hey, I have the exact opposite relationship. 98% of the growers in the community that are male will say things like this. I got to check with my wife before I buy this light. I got to check with my wife before I buy the seed. I'm over here telling my wife, hold on, slow down. Let's talk about this before we buy this.
Ladies, you know what I'm talking about when you're going to get grow equipment and your husband's like, now let's just hold up for a second.
No, this doesn't compute. This doesn't compute.
That's one thing I don't get permission on here. I'll buy anything I need for my grow here, and she understands that. But hey, I'm responsible with it. I don't go crazy on my spending here. I get what I need, and I mean, there's times I do without. I don't put my family out, but I don't ask for permission on anything here. Sometimes forgiveness.
That's it.
Yeah,
sometimes
it's ask forgiveness sometimes than permission. But we're smart. I feel like we'll work for our money and save aside just for that item. Most times, if it's a bigger item, I'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna go make this money, and you see, we're not even gonna fill it. It's gonna be boom.
Oh yeah, I feel you. I bought a new computer, and I just signed a contract with a company to work on their conveyor system, local, just to pay for the stupid computer. But
well, congratulations on the new contract, man.
Hell yeah.
Oh no, I don't want this contract. Nope, I don't want it. But you gotta do what you gotta do. You know that. You know how it works, Smart.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta sell your soul.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do well working for other people, man. People tell me what to do and shit. I get upset. I don't know. I have a problem.
Oh, I can imagine that, Smart. Hey, Smart, you need to take that tall fucking plant in the corner in the back there, bend it over right now. I can hear Smart saying, "Screw you, dude. I'm not doing that."
Hey, somebody was in the chat saying that earlier. Penny Pebble Ripper said, "Does anybody bend their plants over at the end anymore?" I didn't know that was a thing, but I do have a cool story about bending plants over. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's the story. Yeah, I'm thinking it's the same story because
maybe not. Well, this is the story. When I was real young, we used to grow plants by our little cabin in the woods. We had a clearing. We didn't know. We were growing males. We never knew why they didn't look like the buds we were buying and shit. We were 16 years old, right? 15 years old.
Yep.
But this old timer we was talking to told us, he said, when you're growing that weed, he goes, you want to let it get to a certain height, then you want to grab the top of it, bend it over, pound the stake in the ground, and tie it to it. And this is what he told us. He said, it'll start growing back up towards the sky again. And he said, when you create that big dip in there, it's like a trap in your sink. He goes, none of that sap that runs to the top of the plant can get back down out of it. He goes, your buds will be dripping with sap when they're done. Now, it sounded really legit at the time. Knowing what I know today about plant physiology, etc., I realized that the auxins and phototropism and all that, and I realized that it might have been, it wasn't, there's no sap that got stuck in his buds that made him better, etc. But I realized what he was doing, and he was essentially just training it. And that's true. You get the tip of your plant lower than the bottom, and it will automatically shift the growth auxins to your satellite colas because they're getting exposure to the sun. That's part of your plant's process, So he was doing a good training method, but he had kind of like the physics behind it wrong, if you will. And I'll never forget that.
Maybe he had the physics right, but he didn't think you'd understand the physics.
Maybe. Well, he was an old goofy like redneck farmer, which that's not casting dispersion upon him. That's my people here, I guess. But
I could see I could see what you're saying, though.
He wasn't well versed in horticulture. I can guarantee you that. But he knew that he knew by watching him that when he did that, did something happen to his plants, and I thought that was pretty cool. When I started learning about it, I never forgot that dude telling me that. but I never heard of anybody bending them over real late in flower because your plants are well pronounced. If I bent that flower, if I bent it over, the reason I think people don't do it intense is because of literal space. The only thing you really have to pin it down to is its own pot, which is very steep of a bend. A well pronounced plant's just going to snap in half, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. You're not.
On the hill, and I feel like I could create mold. The top dies off, different things. It doesn't sound conducive to me, but I won't write it off because I never did it.
Yeah,
Well-
you could super it, but you'd have a hard time. That stem's probably way too woody for that.
Yeah, I mean, is it something that was done like the last 2 weeks to stress the plant out or something? Am I getting like the right gist there, or am I missing the timing? Was it done?
You're
like
missing the
earlier on?
timing. You should have done that like a month ago, but those plants were nothing a month ago. You didn't
Right.
know this was going to happen.
It did that.
But,
Now we
I-
week.
I recall when we grew under the high pressure sodium light that we had some plants get really tall and they were getting burnt because of, it was
Bleached.
bleached out, and I was frustrated and I bent it right over and it did snap. And like a day or two later, it was standing up and I could see where I had broken. Like there were slits in the side, but it stood right back
I
up.
want to say we were like 4 weeks in the flower too, or something.
And yeah, that is what, because I was frustrated. I'm like, these are going to be shit buds. They're getting burned anyway. I don't care if they're up here. I'm just going to snap these over. And we did like 4 or 5 of them that way. And I was like so amazed. And it was like only our maybe 6th or 7th or 8th grow. So I was getting amazed at each grow. Like, wow, this plant can go through that and survive. Like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
early on, Smart split one of our plants at the Plant Gina like hardcore, and it wasn't that one, but it lived through and it produced, and we got a harvest, and it was a great harvest, and I was amazed back then of like, wow, this plant is so hardcore.
well, G-Base gotta be laughing at us because he's like, dude, I don't have that problem. The only thing I have to worry about is some hurricane coming through and knocking them over on their ass.
You know what had happened? Like we had a microburst, like a thunderstorm that came through and flexed its fucking muscles, man. I literally watched my garden. I was sitting in my back door, and I watched the rain come in and the wind come in, and I watched my Hawaiian, which was 9.5 feet tall, in behind some other plants, moving all over, and then it just disappeared.
Gosh,
Timber.
My
damn.
fucking heart broke, man. I'm like, I can't even do anything about it. And then the whole other garden branches were falling and flying everywhere, and oh, it's painful, man. But I went and zip tied them all back together, you know, crossed my fingers, said a prayer.
Rock and roll.
Before I bend
Hell yeah.
I bend
Now
my
look at
plants
'em.
over, I like to tell them, all right, it's time to reach back, girl. Touch your toes.
Touch your toes, damn it! Come on!
Drop it.
Uh,
I try that, I'm gonna hurt myself.
One of my favorite women in the whole world is a female cannabis plant right around September, end of September, man. Week 5 or so, when it's just like before the flowers have fully started to turn into their finishing stage, right when the flowers full, and it's, you know, you're transitioning from all the white pistils into some of the color changing, and you know, some of the parts of the plant are starting to mature and maybe anthocyanins are becoming more present, and you're getting some purpling in the leaves. Just that whole, you know, week 5 to week 7, right in that range, man. Mwah. Especially outdoors. Yeah, when you're outdoors and you're watching it
Mwah.
happen.
I bet.
I had a strain called Hippie Crippler. I got it from a place called. Yeah,
It's
it
gonna
was
be some
old.
strong shit.
It's good stuff. I bought it because me and a friend were sitting by this riverside one day and just, you know, smoked a joint. And I could count every fucking blade of grass. I swear to God. I could hear every fucking songbird in all the trees. I'm like, I'm fucking hot. I look over at my buddy Dustin, and he says the same fucking thing. He's like, can you fucking see all the fucking shit like happening? And I'm like, I'm blazed, man. And right as we're sitting here, we're maybe 5 feet from each other. A bird flies down out of the tree and comes in between our heads. Tripped the shit right out of us, man. We're like, okay, we got to go or whatever. And I was like, hippie crippler, this strain's got me intrigued. So I researched it. I found some seeds out of Old School Breeders Association in British Columbia, and I ordered some up. It wasn't the same effect or anything. Maybe settings for that one, but damn, was it ever a good plant? It finished with a slight pineapple taste, and they finished out very pastel. So the whole top of the canopy was like a yellowy, orangey, pinky, purpley, all mixed in pastel colors all across it. Man, it was super beautiful, super tasty, really good plant, man, for sure. 50 crippler.
Nice.
Yeah, it was blue satellite types. I want to say maybe AK-47 type blue satellite,
Okay.
something like that. But a sativa type thing, a head
Okay.
ringer.
Yeah, I like the sativas better. I think Smott's Cloud Cuddler would be a plant I would like if I could grow it outdoors.
The cloud color times Black Widow, is that a Thunder Dan seed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I got a grip of those.
And it does well. And the Cloud Cuddler is original from Smiley's Garden.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's part of it.
I'm liking those sativas too. I just grew 4 of them, and I like all of them. Usually
Yeah,
it's the
I like-
indicas, but
Got a ladybug flying around in here. What up, girl?
She
I'll
wants
let
some of
it
your
go.
plants.
Yeah,
Doing her
get in the
job.
tent. Get in the tent, Derek. Fucking do your thing.
Yeah,
Good
go
luck.
eat them aphids.
Yeah. I'm glad I got like a little tiny couple plants in here this year when I'm doing the harvest, so I'm not worried. I can just douse that tent and kill anything that's in there. But yeah, before I used to always try to be perpetual and do indoor outdoor at the same time, and
Too much work. Too much work.
for a guy that's not even a good, like, I'm not a good indoor gardener. Like, indoor gardening to me is like, it's hard, man. I don't have any.
If I didn't have computers doing it for me, I couldn't do it. Period.
Exactly. Let's see, we got Seed Person doing.
Talking about indoor gardening and perpetual, it is a lot of work. Yeah.
Looking
I'll give you
beautiful.
guys a quick rundown here. That
Nice.
in that corner is the Platinum Float to Green Crack. This is the Goth Girl. This is the Durban Tide to Cindy 99, and that smells really good. It smells like sour candy. Like when you open a bag of sour candy, like really sour shit, and it's like you can smell it, and you know it's like gonna burn your mouth. You're gonna be like all puckered up. That's kind of what it smells like to me. And then I got this one's got a really interesting leaf shape on it. I'm gonna try and stay out of the tent. This is a Painkiller XL, which is a 1-to-1 CBD to THC strain. And then I got this is the Fruity Pebbles OG.
It looks like a strong plant.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really happy.
Yes, it's like, yeah.
Huh.
And then this is a Ledge Skunk, which it's very squat.
Yeah, I'm gonna say nay on the skunk there. That's not what skunk plant looks like.
If I didn't send it to you, then
I don't know. It looks like it could be the original.
Yeah, I found it in a shoe, in a closet, in an abandoned house. It's the OG shit. No, I'm just kidding.
It's the real shit, for real. That's how it's found, man.
In this tent, I've got the triple bud here, which is the flapjacks. And this is the pheno that I had before, which I'm really happy that I found it. It smells and looks exactly like the one that I lost. So hopefully it's, as close as can be. This is the same plant, and I'm actually spraying it right now to reverse it. I'm going to put it to these 3 down here and maybe the Goth Girl if I have time, if it's not too late. And also I have a cut of this is the other flapjacks, so I'll have flapjacks F2, both the phenos that I was looking for. This one's not quite as pronounced on the frost, but this one definitely is.
That might not be skunk, but it might be a freaking dank little Afghani.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I believe has which I believe is part of the key to the skunk,
Yeah, I've got
Those-
some other
like that
Afghan
Afghan one.
stuff. Yeah, I got some stuff. Hang on real quick. This is the Super Silver Haze, and I'm not really like, it doesn't turn me on or anything. It's just gonna be some head stash stuff, but yeah, over here I got these three right here are the TK or Hollyweed crossed to TKM10, which is that OG Afghan one to Triangle Kush. So these are going to be really sleepy stuff, I hope.
Nice.
And then I got, these are 9-pound hammers, which is, I'm going to pick one of those and reverse it to hopefully this. And these are markers and glue. I might, if I have one that I really like, put some pollen on that. And I got 2 OG Kush seeds here that I'm going to pick my favorite and put some of the 9-pound hammer on that as well. And then this is the Goth Girl twins.
The twins are doing good.
Nice.
Yeah, they're happy.
Growing up evenly,
there's
too.
a question in the chat, man,
Wait,
for
wait,
you,
wait. Hold on a sec. That
What?
plant right there, that's one seed?
That was the one seed, yeah.
And it's got 2. Oh, okay.
Remember
Sorry, I had
Yeah. The birdie seed.
I never saw that. I wasn't present for that. Wow. That's interesting, seed person.
Find it.
You go on
Yeah,
my
we got-
Instagram, it's just down a little bit.
I'm going to
Never
find
thought
it
I'd
right
see
now.
a wire tie clone or seedling.
The answer for Ned is I got them from somebody who had the Ethos multi-packs, and then they were reselling all the seeds. It was, I think, Ty Bud's Genetics, and it was the last pack that he got of those. So unfortunately, I don't know where you could get any more. I've been looking for them for a long time. But yep, that's my shit.
Well, looking
Do you
good.
really like
looking
that?
Good.
You really like that 9-pound hammer, and it seems like you've been growing that for a while.
Yeah, I had a cut of it for over a year, and I got rid of it because I needed some space, and it was the hardest plant to trim. It was so leafy and shit, but it was really good for like putting you down to sleep. So it was hard to get rid of it, but I was like, I'll just find another one that's a little easier to trim up.
Cool. Is
I
that
got
like,
your picture right here.
is that for like edible sleep or like smoke sleep?
Like smoke sleep. The first time that I had it was in a vape pen that I got at a dispo, and I like would take 3 or 4 hits and have to go get in bed. So I had to get some seeds of it.
XY, you seeing this?
Oh yeah, I'm seeing it. Yeah, I'm like, my mind is blown, and now seeing the plan, it makes so much more sense.
Never
It's like-
seen that before, but it's pretty freaking neat, man. Like, and I've seen a lot of seeds. That is
Yeah,
cool.
seed person always
And
ends
it
up
pops,
with some of the craziest crap I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
Me and
awesome.
him still have a project to graft like some weird seed, one plant onto some other plant, but we're not in too much of a rush.
Eventually.
Yeah, it'd be hard to
that'd
know
be
what internals in a plant would allow the other one to graft to it, right? So you'd have to know like what different subspecies and stuff that aren't even just related would still have the same interior makeup, right? So they would be able to patch together. That's a cool idea. That'd be neat though to freak people out by, putting whatever on whatever. Have any of you guys ever had a grafted cannabis plant, like the mother plant with like 4 different strains or whatever? Anyone ever done that? I've heard of it lots.
Hey, I wanted to ask seed
We're
person.
gonna do
that
it
real
eventually.
quick.
Sorry, go
He
ahead.
wanted to know where you got your seeds at there. Do you see it on the screen?
Yeah, I answered the question. I got them from
Oh, okay, that's
somebody
fine.
who had the Ethos multi-pass.
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I
Oh,
was
you're
trying
all
to
good.
figure out. G-Bay, yeah, you're right. We talked about that before grafting, and so go
Yeah.
ahead, man.
Well, I was thinking because like I want to do some fruit trees in my yard, but I live in town and I have a small little lot, and big chunk of it's already taken up by a garden, and the rest is for dogs to run around and do their thing. And I have a couple apple trees in my front yard, and I just want to add some more food to my property. And I was looking at those. I think they're called like fruit salad trees or whatever, right? They're kind of neat. You get like peaches and plum, whatever. You get a couple different fruits on one tree, right? And then we've always heard people doing the like the ultimate mother plant, grafting on 5 or 6 different strains to one rootstock. Now, I would never have a purpose for something like that, but man, is that ever a cool idea? Like, think if you were into something like you know, we're running a professional garden. Would that make sense though to have mothers? Because you can't redo it. That's just like you do it once, and then that plant has a certain life span, right? Because like cannabis, it's only meant to go through one life cycle, right? And then drop its seeds and do its thing. So when you try to keep it alive for multiple cycles, like I've done a lot of re-vegging, you know, flower plant it, re-veg it, flower it again, re-veg it. And they eventually just give it up, man. Eventually, there's like,
No,
you know, cloning's
we're
different.
tired.
I've found cloning is different, but with the, you can't keep it in the same. Like you can't cut it down to a note or two and regrow it. That rootstock, it's just, it bites the bullet after a while. So I don't know. It's just kind of neat though. I've never done it. Never really seen it in person, but
Well, grafting a bunch of different strains onto another strain of cannabis plant really doesn't serve any purpose. It's just more of, hey, we did this, it was fine, it was something, you know, it's
Right.
like a Frankenstein project, I guess.
If you look at grafting from a horticultural standpoint, as far as fruiting vegetables, like G-Bay was saying, it's mainly used so that you can bring an outside fruit into an area that it wouldn't normally grow. So you graft it to a rootstock. Apples, they do that a lot with apples around here. They'll get like a crabapple tree and graft on a different one because the rootstock that would normally grow that apple is not conducive to this climate time zone. So you have one that's already established. And like you said, XYZ, by the time you go through the time of grafting those in, the risk versus reward, all that, like now, you know, anything happens to that one plant, you're losing all 5 strains, you know, all your work's down the drain. And like he said, it's a perennial or it's an annual. I can't remember. I always forget those two.
Perennial, I believe.
So it doesn't really have the DNA structure to do all that, I believe, and keep going. I obviously never tried it, wouldn't have any use for it. But like I know my wife had trees before when she was younger, and they had like 3 different kinds of apples on them, and that makes a lot of sense based on the. But I think
there's a nursery here in Pennsylvania. It's quite a big nursery. It's really nice, actually. Musters, it's called, and they have those trees. They've grafted several species of apples. Well, a few, I guess, but you know, they're to one tree, and it's pretty wild. I had never seen anything like that, but
yeah, I could see it with annuals, but perennials that you only get one season out of is kind of a waste. But it's still a cool thought just to actually be able to do something like that. That's all. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should, but I always like to push the envelope.
Hey, next week it'll be Seed Person with a grafting technique or something. He's the one that does all the wild upside down clone, the double seed, I can't even remember some of the other ones, but it's always something pretty cool. He had to do surgery recently on a plant.
Yeah, those things.
He has the triple tops. What else did we have recently? It's been quite the roller coaster ride with Seed Person's garden as far as seeing cool new shit.
Yep,
flower plant in a little mini solo cup.
There, yeah. Mini auto. I forgot about mini auto. Yeah.
Well, sometimes those odd grows are kind of fun, but those aren't. Yeah. Those are for like when you have you know, jars on the shelf, as our friend would say.
Yeah, or like if you collected Matchbox cars, every now and again you'd want to scrap an M80 to one of them and just blow it apart. You know you're going to lose it. You know it's not going to really be nothing but a nice big bang. And it's kind of like that with this hobby too, man. you know that this isn't going to give me the return I want, but I got to see what happens if you do this or this, you know. And a lot of us do that. We always say our little speech we give when that is we don't recommend people do that unless they have a bunch of medicine already. You know, if you're in your first grow, you don't want to try the upside down clone. If that's not obvious, then it might be deeper issues. But you know, you want to make sure that you get.
Maybe you shouldn't be growing, dude. If you're trying that crazy crap.
But the message is there, you know, you want to make sure that you have some extra space for this. It's not something you're absolutely relying on before you go trying something that's a little wild or anything like even like schwazzing or something that you heard about and you want to try. Wait till you have some plants build up and then you can watch it do its thing. And there's no better
Way to
thing
learn about the plant.
Yeah. Hey, wasn't it Cannabinoids lab was here and dropped off, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit ago. And I apologize, Cannabinoids, if I think we put him in, but they fell out. Oh man, I'm still the night. What's a Theraflu, man? That shit kind of got me. I feel hungover. Plus, I smoked a joint. Didn't eat much. Yeah, I felt a little under the weather today, man. I worked till noon and come home and took Theraflu and went right to bed. You know, and I still feel fucked up. Like I might be getting colder.
It's about that season, man, where you get them colds.
Look at that fat seed in there.
I'm kind of surprised.
It's like double the size in there.
These are triploid seeds.
That's wild, man.
I expected the watermelon like seeds, but there is one for sure viable seed, and it looks like maybe two out of the handful of donuts triploid that I just broke down. I'm not going to do the rest of it. It's still too freaking moist.
So J5
it needs to dry.
The chat found out a bit here earlier that those seeds are coming out of a plant, a triploid that's not supposed to be able to carry seeds.
That like fat viable seed is kind of a surprise to me.
Yeah, so you need to you need to sprout that thing. Put it in paper towel right now, but you should see if that actually grows.
I will.
Oh, he's definitely gonna grow it.
That's wild.
You know,
this is my triploid seed.
I'm excited for the smoke report on that. You know, I'm very curious about the smoke report.
I've got the other ones here, and the one that I pollinated, not much of a nose on it, but there was one of them. I don't know if it was the diploid or the other triploid that was like gas, like straight gas.
Was it a pollinated with another triploid? Otherwise, would it be a 1.5 noid? Or
yeah. I'm just
fucking with you.
I guess there's such a thing as a partial triploid, I'm hearing, but don't ask me what that means because it doesn't make any sense. But
Seed person just broke it down. It's a 1.5.
I love it.
Seminoid.
Seminoided.
Parshnoid.
That's funny.
I can't believe you got
way back in the day when I used to grow when I was a young teenager pup, I actually I tried to make triploid seeds. I took like 1,000 seeds and threw them in the microwave because that was the only thing I had at the time. It didn't work. But I'm curious about it. I wonder, I mean, if theoretically that seed shouldn't exist. I mean, I don't know. That's just weird.
Yeah.
Hey, where did those seeds come from, J5?
They came from. I paid $9.99. I paid $9.99 for the shipping, and they came from Humboldt Seed Co. Co-op. I don't know what it is. Yeah, not the org.
Okay.
Humboldt Seed Co.
Yeah.
They were doing refunds on those.
Yeah.
I paid $9.99 for them.
So it's not a huge loss on your part as far financially, but
no. And I had them in like fucking 3 gallons or something like that because I got them late in the season.
I'm glad you grew them though, and now I can tell people I saw with my own eyes the plant grow. I saw the dude harvest it and watched him pluck the seeds out live on our show. And those
saw it
are
grow
from
next to its
Humble.
diploid counterpart, and it didn't outgrow it like it was supposed to.
I feel like
Yeah.
the more we go deeper into this show, having shows week after week, year after year, we're going to see more and more of those plants come. And so these are our early reviews. Like when autoflowers came out in 1996 or whenever they was invented, bred specifically. I think it was like 96. They started selling something called an autoflower.
I think it needs more time in the oven. They need to work it a little bit more. Because I'm not impressed with what I'm seeing.
It needs more ploiding.
Yeah.
Well, some of these people that are selling like these seeds for a really big fee should have already done the work, in my opinion. If you're asking such a price, the work should be done.
Yeah, but for $9.99, I don't think you're going to get much.
No.
It was worth the effort to try them out and see. And now you know. Yeah, I'm curious to see what those seeds do, man. Those will be in a plot next year, maybe J5.
Probably not. I'll just pop them and throw them in one gals or something. Well, they'll probably be out there, but not in the ground.
Okay.
I would say generally avoid any seed company that does pre-orders on seeds. I've seen that recently, and I'm not a fan of that.
No, we haven't tested them yet, but once we do, we'll send them out to you. We need money to float us while we test them and shit.
Yeah,
Man, I used to love when people would prepay for packs of a different sort.
Yeah, them days are gone, buddy. But yeah, prepay to get a seed? Is it like supposed to be a triploid or something?
No, in-house genetics has been doing it recently, where you pay and then they'll send it to you at a later date when it's ready, or something.
Is it a discount? Because I know like some places do like those monthly, whatever
No,
you pay.
I've seen
a bunch of
These
money
are
and
like $200
like the
packs of
ethos thing.
seeds.
Wow. Do you think that's like a marketing strategy, or
it makes you feel exclusive?
Like, yeah, because I was
Scam.
thinking that maybe if they have fire genetics, that might just really take off if the product's behind it,
Yeah, but unfortunately, a lot of marketing requires people to get the sensation of being special or somehow, I don't know,
Exclusive.
Yeah, you feel exclusive then, and exclusivity can come with a higher price. And so, you can hold this seed up and promote it and get the right people behind it and hype enough people up about it. You can sell it to them for the price you want. And they're going to feel like, because of the people that spoke about this seed, because of who sold it, et cetera, it has to be fire regardless of, and that's a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm not buying the exclusivity argument. I mean, just as much cannabis as I see us all growing, and the different kinds, and the people, the home growers, the G-Bay genetics, everybody in the community is just spreading their love. I mean, why spend a bunch of money on something you don't know what it is?
We talked about this earlier with G-Bay, and we were saying, like, it seems like the best seeds we've gotten recently came from people in the community that we know, like Cal or Thunder Dan. Spartan sent some out. Fluff sent us a big pack of his seeds that are regulars, and we want to get to some of those, but being regulars is what's holding us back. But it just seems like this Chef OMJ, we grew his stuff, and it's the stuff that we're growing from our friends is just as good, if not better, than what you're buying from these big companies for $15 a seed.
Yeah, I rocked out my whole garden pretty well. Yeah, a couple Thunder Dan stuff and some Bamalam from Fluff, and then some really good chosen cuts from friends out in Manitoba. And those ones always throw down. Like the wedding cake I'm trimming up right now, it's one of the trichiest plants I've seen outdoors. It's awesome. The leaves curl right over on themselves, just full of trikes. When you look at it under a microscope, it's just crazy. It's intense. I've never really seen it. the Mendo Breath. Yeah, Gauge Green Mendo Breath, the Skunk Master Flex garlic cookies, the what else did I have from them? And then a cross of animal cookies to garlic cookies. It's pretty good too. That Hawaiian, it was Fluff's Hawaiian times Black Widow for Thunder Dan, and those things threw down. That's everything you see behind me is all the Hawaiian stuff just hanging there. We're in a nice chill room right now. I'm a little high, 68 degrees, but 64% humidity, so I can handle that.
You know, it
Not
stands to reason if you think about it. Our friends are a lot like us. They're looking for that gas or that whatever, you know, and their focus is not on quantity for profit. Most of our friends that are sending us these seeds, they're making these seeds because they're passionate, because they're looking for the same shit we are. So it's not a surprise to me when someone that we talk to regularly, I would say it's one of the biggest blessings of being ensconced in this community so solidly for so long is the amount of seeds and genetics that people are willing to share with you. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like the booth camps. You know, I had a party at my place, and they've had a couple parties down south, and I was fortunate enough to make it down this year and attended. There is a community that I didn't know could be possible. A bunch of derelicts from all over the place, man, getting together for the love of a plant and for what it does for us and to us. So it's epic, man. And to be able to jump on here on Wednesdays, man, and hang out with you guys and enjoy my time trimming and talk triploids and all that weird shit. It's awesome, man.
Yeah, it is fun.
Who else?
I keep forgetting I'm on a leash.
Because how many people in our real lives want to sit around and talk horticulture for 2 hours straight? They kind of glaze over once you get into photosynthesis or anything like that, you know. And we come here and it's like everybody's got an input. So you're right. This is the place to go for like-minded individuals. And there's a lot of other good shows out there. We always like to promote them and other people in the community.
Yeah. We were at Booth Camp South, and the whole camp basically got into some of Lobster's edibles, these really, really strong mushrooms, man. We all laughed and cried, and oh, man, we went up and down a couple times, man. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, them shrooms, man.
Woo-wee. Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah. Got to know each other pretty well, man.
Feeling those intense human motions at that time and shit, it changes your outlook for a while. Yeah, it's about time for us to rock and roll here. We're
Big up to all the chat homies. I just finally figured out how to re-chat again.
Oh, you figured the comments tab that I always forget about? Yeah.
Doc's in the house.
Nice.
We got a show coming up next. It's going to be on Spartans and Uncle Rick. They're doing a Velocigrows, I think it was. So everybody will be going to check them out. And,
I was supposed to be doing Let's Be Buds tonight for the first hour at least for
is that how,
a pack of goth girls, but I haven't heard. That's what Little E-Bud said yesterday, but I haven't heard anything else since. And I saw that on the YouTube, so I wasn't sure what was going on. So I'm just waiting for a link.
I was going to say, you sure you get the right week and shit
like
that?
Yeah, he said the 30th.
Okay.
He said, and I checked with Little E-Bud yesterday, so we'll see. But there might be a chance to win a pack of seeds over there today.
Cool.
So we get a chance to harass seed person from the chat a little bit.
Hell yeah.
Put a bunch of questions in there. No, that's good, man. I'm glad to see that other people get to have you on their shows and shit, man. You got a lot to bring to the community, seed person. You're a fun guy and good-hearted and sending out a bunch of stuff and shit. So we'll definitely be there to support. I might not be able to type a whole bunch, but I'll definitely be listening.
Oh, look at that. Look at all that frost.
I'm coming.
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
That's from picking those seeds. Look at his thumb.
Yeah. I got trikes on my thumb for days.
Ooh, they look nice too. Those look very nice. They're moving great.
So what are you gonna do with those?
Dry and sandy. That wedding cake has got some. The story that the right is kind of highlighting it, but yeah, they're nice and dry and sandy. That's pretty
You gonna
decent.
freeze those and turn them into hash?
You know what? I really don't know what I'm going to do with anything. I was supposed to go do freeze dryer work, but I've just been too busy and everything to set anything aside. I do have some fresh frozen from the harvest, but I don't know how I'm going to process that exactly. I don't think I'm going to do much. If I do anything, I may catch a bunch of dry sift and bag it up and just press it in my rosin press.
Yeah, that's what
Korkowski would snort it on the Adam Dunn show.
Oh, what?
Dude's
That's a little bit rowdy.
Who's out there snorking trikes, man?
Oh my goodness.
Hardcore, dude. You know, it ain't a name; it's a lifestyle.
You're not hardcore unless you look hardcore, man.
Well, G-Base got some trikes he'd probably like to snort because that stuff looks almost like sand. It's just so dry.
It's nice. I like that. I had the first time I tried doing that. That's the wedding cake. It's so frosty. There's a picture I put up a few weeks ago on Instagram, and first comment was Jay Patrick. Oh, the frost or something like that. Like, yeah, that's the one, man.
Awesome.
I've got a re-vegging right now. It was a dead old plant from my backyard. It was like decrepit, over water, and I just stopped paying attention to it because it was whatever, right? So, and then at the end of the year, I was like, God damn, I wish I still had it. And the plant actually was alive and had 5 or 6 little buds on it. So I brought it inside, put it under 24-hour light, and gave it a good dose of nitrogen. And lo and behold, some of them buds are throwing out green leaves now. So the plant looks like death. But if I can get that genetic to stay alive, man.
What up, Jay, bro?
I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to say their goodbyes. I'm going to go ahead and start with Seed Person in case he gets the nod to jump on another show. He might want a minute or two. So if you want to go first, Seed Person, feel free. And thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thanks for having me. I'm seedperson1 on Instagram or seedperson1@gmail.com. It's good to see everybody on the panel and everybody in chat. And maybe I will see y'all later today. And I will definitely see you on Sunday.
Word.
Awesome.
Later, Seed Person.
We'll go XYZ. We'll get back in line here.
Cheers, guys. It's been fun. Thanks for the panel. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for the gracious hosts. And you all have a wonderfully blessed week.
Thanks,
Thank you.
XY. Same to you, buddy.
Yep.
Safe travels if you're on the road, and happy brownies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy brownies.
J5, you're up next, brother. Triploid with the seeds. That's the first time I ever saw it. I appreciate you letting us watch your grow all the way through, keeping us there from beginning clear to end through all the good, the windstorm, now these seeds. I'm not happy you got them, but I'm really grateful that we were able to see that triploid shit go all the way through because I could never do that here, man,
Yeah, it's been a real cool journey for sure.
It's always a good time. Shout out to all my chat homies. Shout out to old Supreme Graper, J Bro, all those cats in there.
Right
and
on.
We'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks for having me. Peace.
I'm glad you found the chat, J5. It's
I am too, dude. That's fun. I can be more distracted now.
Awesome. Yeah, how I get to it.
Ball.
Trim, squirrel.
All right, up next, G-Bay with all the buds hanging, man. I envy you, but I really don't. Because
Don't envy me, man. It looks great, but
Oh man, that's awesome.
lots of work, but lots of good.
Wow.
yeah, I mean, I'm going to be in this chair for weeks, so you're going to see a lot of me, guys. I'm going to be jumping around and trying to hang out with as many of you as I can, just so I don't die of boredom, really staring at weed and sniffing at it. But thanks again for letting me on, and cheers to all the chat. Peace and love.
Right on. Thanks, G-Bay. You're always welcome, man. I hope
It's
you
always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what you're doing, man. You can just sit there and smoke with us, or we like all this stuff.
We love seeing the buds hanging behind you and seeing the trim, though. It's fun.
Perfect. It's a good backdrop. I like it.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
I would pay for that backdrop.
People do pay for that. Yeah. That's the real deal.
I take MasterCard.
Up last but not least, our buddy Jace. Appreciate you coming on. Plants look great, man. Always a good time having you hanging around with us, and we appreciate your input as always.
Hey, thanks again. I gotta say though, this feels a little weird. I don't know if this is the first time I've ever been last to go on here. Artman usually beats me on here, so he's last.
Yeah,
But
you're the first one jumping in, man.
I know. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram, OKJace20. And thanks, cheers panel. Thanks, Mike Crispy. Thanks, chat. Cheers, guys. We'll see you next time. Go up.
Cheers. Yeah, shout out to
Grow
Art
love.
in Absentia. He's always here, and we got a lot of love for Art, man. We want to make sure that whatever he's doing tonight, he knows that we missed him, and we'll see you next time.
Everybody have a happy and safe Halloween, and we'll see you on Sunday. Cheers, everybody. Grow love.
Happy Halloween.
Peace.
Grow